Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my May book wrap up and book haul, but I've got to apologise because I'm at my grandparents at the moment and I thought, oh, quickly grab my camera because I can film a video here, only I forgot that I was going to do the haul part, so all the books I wanted to show you is at my own house, so I'm going to film that part and still include it in this video, but it might be later on in the day, so there might be a change in background, there might be a change in lighting, or it might be a complete different day, so I might look different, so I'm really sorry about the inconsistency there. Hopefully you don't mind, but I really wanted to do this like a 2-in-1 video. I'm going to start with the books that I read during May. Now I do have one book here that I am probably going to finish today, so I'll either insert a clip of me like maybe doing a mini review or write down some thoughts in the video, or maybe I'll just save my thoughts till next month, which is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. So you'll obviously see whether I finish it or not either today or next month. Anyway, I'm getting out of breath because I was just running, I don't know why. The first book I read during May is called The Demon Girl's Song by Susan Jane Bigelow. I got this as a read for review copy through NetGalley, so I received a free e-arc for a certain amount of days to read it and obviously review. It doesn't change my opinion on the book at all, as you guys know if you watch my videos. I'm 100% honest with how I feel about it. So it's about this young girl called Andin. She really wants to escape her small town life. She just helps out in her dad's shop. She feels like staying where she is holding her down. She can't achieve anything, and her biggest dream is to really go to the university, but the time that it's set in, which I'm a bit hazy at, I don't know where it's kind of set in a timeline, it's a bit preposterous for girls to be going to uni. She kind of gets made fun of because that's her dream and stuff like that. However, instead of the escape that she'd hoped for, she gets a very old demon stuck in her head. She practically gets possessed, and she ends up going on a quest to sort of figure out how to get rid of this demon, why it's there, what it is, more about it, and I guess finding herself as she goes on. So honestly, I didn't like this as much as I was hoping to. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. If you want to read my Goodreads review, I've got quite a lengthy review on there, so I'm obviously just going to pick out the highlights of my thoughts from there in this video, but I'd strongly suggest reading the review if you're interested in it, if you want to know more about why I didn't like it as much as I hoped I was going to. Honestly, it was a cover read. Going into it, I didn't really know too much about what it was about, other than the fact that, you know, there was a demon and there was possibly a girl. Didn't know any more than that, and maybe that was my downfall. I should have looked into it more, but I thought, oh, I can get this for free and read it and review it, and it's got demons in it, I'm sure I'll like it somewhat, but I really shouldn't have done that. I should have looked more into it. I think because I did look at it with the idea of this is going to be about demons, I think I skimmed like the blurb a little bit. I thought instantly, subconsciously in my mind, this is going to be an epic fantasy, but it kind of wasn't. But I guess I can't really say that's what caused me to not like it, even though it probably did help add towards it maybe, I don't know. I think one of the major points that I felt that gave me like a negative review for it, or not necessarily negative but a lower rating, is the fact that I couldn't always bring myself to read it. I just didn't really feel that connected to the story, the characters, and because of that I didn't always want to pick it up and think, oh, let's read this. It was more of a chore than anything, unfortunately. And when I did read it, it kind of didn't really hold my attention for that long as well, so I only found myself kind of reading short bursts at a time, not being able to prolong that experience, unfortunately. The writing style was another thing that got to me. It just wasn't for me, really. It wasn't bad writing at all by any means. I just didn't get on with how some sentences linked up. There was a bit of romance in there, and that part I felt like, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but I honestly feel like that could have been done so wonderfully. It could have been a really beautiful romance, but in a way I felt like it was just rushed there. It was just chucked in there to make it a thing, just to add it in, you know. I don't feel like it was really needed or necessary at all. If the author felt like she really had to put it in there, I felt like it could have been written a bit better. So I'm going to mention one of the good things. The best thing I found about this book was the fact that we had a nice diverse range of characters. There were different ethnicities, different genders, different sexualities throughout this, so it gave it, I don't want to say a believable experience, but more, it just included a wide range of people, which I thought was really great. The ending was really interesting. I felt like it had a Garth Nix kind of feel to it, but I guess the interesting ending kind of was overshadowed by the other major dislikes that I had about the story. It does have a 12 years later chapter. You see the characters like later on in life, and I thought that would have been good because maybe we would have tied up loose ends, kind of not have a sequel bait or anything, but I felt like that chapter was left way too open for what it was. I feel like there could possibly be more in the series, or I don't know if it's a series or not, and I'm not too into that because I really find it difficult not to finish a series, and I feel like I'm going to go out of my way to read the next books if there are more in this when I didn't enjoy the first one that much. So I kind of feel mentally that I'm hooked onto this and I have to continue if there's more. Yeah, sadly it just wasn't one for me. I know there's a lot of people that would enjoy this, but it wasn't one for me, unfortunately. So that's a 2 out of 5 stars for the Demon Girls song. Next I read Camp Midnight by Stephen T. Siegel and Jason Katzenstein. Sorry if I said that wrong. This was a graphic novel that I also read through NetGalley. Again, you know, it doesn't alter my opinion or anything like that, just thought I'd mention that. So I got this as a e-graphic novel, whatever you want to call it. So this is basically about a girl called Sky who has to spend this summer with her dad and his new wife, who she absolutely hates. During that time she gets a surprise, and that surprise is, it's told to you in the blurb and everything, so it's not a spoiler, that she's got to go to summer camp. Unfortunately she gets sent to the wrong summer camp and circumstances ensue. So I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I was leaning more to 2.5, but then something about it just pulled me in and gave me a 3 star, so I did enjoy it. I was really happy to see that this was written by the creator of Ben 10. I think it's the old Ben 10 series, which I really liked. I don't like the new series. And Big Hero 6, which I absolutely love. I was hoping it was going to be like a light graphic novel that I could just jump in to sort of lighten the load of my reading, because I was reading some tense, in-depth things. Like the book that I had finished just before that was hard going. The one that I was reading that I'll tell you about in a minute, that was also very hard going. I just wanted something to break it up a little bit, more of an easier read, yes I will admit, something I could easily absorb and think, oh that was a cool story, on to the next one, you know. And I'm happy to say that is exactly what I got. It was just a nice little funny little story. It's not something that would stick with you particularly, but it was a funny light read, something that I would happily read again. It was definitely quirky and cool and had a really unique art style that I was pretty interested in. There was a bit of fourth wall breaking, some entertaining references and some really good humour. Made me feel a bit like, you know Rosario Vampire, the manga or the anime? It reminded me a bit of that, of course without the fan appeal, with a mix of Rick Riordan's Camp Half-Blood. So it was a really cool kind of mixture there. It was really enjoyable to read about. I was left a little bit confused about the intended audience, because at times it definitely felt like a middle grade read, but there was some sort of slightly older references, a little bit rude, some very, very mild nudity. So I wasn't too sure who exactly this graphic novel was kind of intended to be read by. So I don't know if you're looking to give like a fun little story to a younger kid. This might not be it, because there are some little bits in there that might not be appropriate for them, but it's not terrible by any means. Our main character Sky, she was a really interesting, funny character, but at the same time she was a little bit overbearing and a bit too much. She didn't seem to get fazed by any, sorry itchy nose, about any of the situations happening. Like she just seemed to be like, okay, let's go sort this out. Like she wasn't scared at any time, or she didn't seem it. She wasn't like worried, or it just seemed like she was just some sort of perfect robot. Like she'd just get on with the situation. I'm thinking I would be crapping my pants if stuff like this was happening to me. Although this was really funny, I really did enjoy reading it. I found that quite a few scenes didn't flow that well, but I can imagine this doing really well as a TV show, especially because the comic, it has some really cool hues and overlays on certain panels, so I think that would really work well like with certain effects and stuff in a TV programme. Yeah, it was a pretty good read and I would recommend it. On to the next book. So then I read Edgar Allan Poe, The Best of His Macabre Tales, Complete and Unabridged. This one I've been borrowing from the library for about 3 months and I've taken it back of late, so I don't have it to show you. But I think I mentioned that in my last video, in my intimidating TBR, and probably a video before that, I'm not too sure. Magical Species, I think. I don't know, I've mentioned it in a few videos, and you might have seen it in a few currently readings, but this is featuring 27, I think, of Poe's kind of, well, as the book says, best tales, I suppose. It had quite a fair mixture. There were like 1 or 2 poems in there. Majority of them were more like murder mystery kind of short stories. And then of course you've got some of his more popular stuff, which is Gothic literature, and that's what I picked the book up for. And I was a bit shocked to see not all of it was Gothic literature. I don't know, I just thought that was his like his main kind of style of writing. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Difficult one to rate, because where it's got so many different kind of short stories and stuff embedded in it, I gave those each individual rating, so making a whole kind of grouped rating was really difficult because I had a lot of different thoughts on a lot of the stories included. I do hope to do a few video reviews on this where I break down my reviews for the individual stories in more depth and tell you what I thought about, rather than just give you the ratings. But for now I'll just read out the names of the stories and the ratings I gave them. So, The Gold Bug, I gave a 3 out of 5. The Facts in the Case of M. Valdenmar, I gave 2.5 out of 5. MS Found in a Bottle, I think that's a message. Does that mean message? I don't know. I gave that a 1 out of 5. A Descent into the Maelstrom, I gave a 1 out of 5. The Murders in the Rue Morgue, I gave a 2 out of 5. The Mystery of Marie Roget, I gave a 3 out of 5. The Purloined Letter is a 2 out of 5. The Black Cat, I gave a 5 out of 5. The Fall of the House of Usher, I gave a 3.5 out of 5. The Pit and the Pendulum, I gave a 4 out of 5. Premature Burial, I gave a 5 out of 5. The Mask of the Red Death, I gave a 4.5 out of 5. That was a really good one, I really enjoyed that one. The Cask of Amontillado, I gave a 1 out of 5. The Imp of the Perverse, a 3.5 out of 5. The Oval Portrait, 3 out of 5. The Assassination, I gave a 3.5 out of 5. The Telltale Heart, a 4 out of 5. The System of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather, a 5 out of 5. The Angel of the Odd, a 4.5 out of 5. The Man of the Crowd, a 2 out of 5. Thou Art the Man, a 4 out of 5. Hop Frog, 5 out of 5. Berenice, 2 out of 5. Ligia, 4 out of 5. Morella, 4 out of 5. The Narrative of A. Gordon Pym, I gave a 4.5 out of 5. And The Raven, I gave a 3.5 out of 5. So, they're all the books that I read. I only read 3. So yeah, I am going to show you the books that I bought. Again, sorry, it's probably going to be in a different location or maybe a different day. Hopefully it doesn't feel too like broken up. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this part. So let's continue to the books that I bought. So it's the next day, I've just woken up, and yeah, let's continue with the books that I bought during May. It's in this massive bag. I feel like I got way more than I was actually thinking at the time, but yeah, it's kind of like a lucky dip, but not really, because I put them in order of the first book to the last book that I bought during May, so not really. I don't know why I said that. I kind of accidentally got things in 2s, like I got 2 at a time, and I don't know why I did that. I tend to, I think I take advantage of like discounts and like deals and stuff. Anyway, the first 2 are from that hospital that I'm always mentioning, that my grandparents go to. I didn't go this time, but my mum picked me up some books that she thought I would like. The first one is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. Is that how you say it? I'm not too sure. It doesn't have the dust jacket on or anything like that. It's just this nice dainty little red book. I did have Black Beauty years ago. I think the newspaper at one point was doing like get classics for like a couple of pounds or something with this special coupon, and I was getting loads of them, but I don't know where they've gone. The last time I remember, it was under like, I had like this bunk bed, but underneath it was like a cupboard sort of thing. It was in a bag in there, and I don't know where that bag's gone because I don't have that bed anymore, and I haven't for years. But anyway, I'm glad that I've got this back in my collection. Hopefully I'll get to read it, because I didn't get to read it like last time. I think I started a couple of pages and then I put it away and it went missing, I don't know. So yeah, excited to get that. And again, because it's like a charity base, you just put however many like spare change or pounds, whatever you want to put in that. And then the next one, I don't know why I'm a little bit embarrassed to show, because I have openly admitted that I love this series, and although I don't know if I'll read it anytime soon again, because I just don't reread things that often, I still really love it. And that is Blood Rivals, Werewolf versus Vampire. You flip the side So on this side it is Taylor Lautner's biography, and on this side it is Robert Pattinson's biography, and I don't know who wrote, oh, it's written by Martin Howden, so yeah, it's just a little bit about them, so yeah. Oh, and I've been watching a bit of Cuckoo, and Taylor Lautner's in that, and I've been freaking out, so clearly I still enjoy those actors. Next two books were from Asda. They do a 2 for £7 on quite a few of them, and it's really exciting because you can get so many new releases in there. So the first one I picked up, that I was really hesitant at actually picking it up because I didn't enjoy the first one that much, but it's the second in a Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas, and it is a Court of Mist and Fury. So this is continuing on with that kind of Beauty and the Beast retelling, but with like Sarah J Maas's iconic Faye twist. So this one is far meatier than the first one. So everybody's been saying, I've been talking on to people on other booktube videos that have featured this, and I've been saying I've been a bit hesitant. I've got the book, I might as well read it, but I really didn't like the first one that much. I have a whole discussion, if you want to watch that, I'll link that somewhere, and a lot of people have said, yeah, I understand, even if I liked or disliked the first book, the second one is so much better. I really urge you to read it. So hopefully it is, because it's going to take more time, and I don't want to waste my time, if that makes sense, because I've mentioned before I find it difficult to DNF books. Now that I know the meaning of it, I don't really like doing that, especially if it's in a series. I feel like I have to continue. I don't know why I do this to myself. So hopefully I do enjoy it at least a little bit to get through the whole thing. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you too much about what this one's about, obviously, because it's the second in what I think is going to be a trilogy. And then the second one that I got in that deal is Sarafina and the Black Cloak by Robert Beatty. I've seen this kind of floating around a little bit, and I'm a little bit confused because I swear there's another book called Sarafina and the something, but it looks like this is the first in a series, so I don't know if I was looking at something else in a series or if it's just a complete different thing. I think the thing I was looking at was Sarafina about the dragons and stuff. I don't think that's the same world, is it? But either way, this does sound interesting. What it sounds like is a mystery. Her and her father have lived in a basement of this old house for, I think, her lifetime, and she knows she mustn't leave that basement. But the general house, I think she can hear from the hubbub that children are slowly going missing, and she feels like only she can find out what's happening and why. So it's going to be interesting, her kind of sneaking about, because I don't think she's supposed to be seen. She's not supposed to be living there. She's trying to find out who's taking these kids, what's going on, other suspicious activity. So it sounds really, really interesting. Or the fact that they're surrounded by some dark, eerie forest as well. I'm hoping for some sort of magic, fantasy maybe, but it does sound more like a mystery-based kind of story, probably aimed at middle grade just by the way the blurb feels. And I kind of expected that. I don't know why the cover just screamed middle grade to me, and I'm really excited because I've been reading a lot of middle grade of late and I've really been enjoying them. So yeah, that's the other book I picked up. And the next two books I got from this shop that the bag says, and it's called Scope. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Scope, about disability, and I think the charity is for disabled people and goes towards them and stuff like that, and giving them stuff to help them have a better quality of life. That's what I've always thought anyway. I don't know if that's actually what it's for, but I just love that charity shop. So yeah, I got two books in there. The first one, I got this in a 2 for £1 or something like that. That's why I picked up two, otherwise I would have just got this one. But I found something that I did want to read, and that is Garth Nix's A Confusion of Princes. Now, I knew that Garth Nix had another series because I'm in love with his Old Kingdom series, which I've done reviews on as well. So if you want to watch, I'll just put the first one, I'll link that above. But I read what this was about, and I wasn't that interested, but I thought, I mean, I got the first one for £1, might be able to get the others a bit cheap as well. So I decided to get it, and it's got a little thing at the back. Oh, what's this? Oh, little postcard with writing. I don't know, that sounds cool. I think someone was using that as a bookmark actually. They didn't get very far or so because it's on like page 2. Oh, apparently it's a standalone. But I thought this was a series. Maybe it's like a, what's that called? A companion series? Apparently it's his first novel for older readers since the Old Kingdom trilogy. and it's worth the wait apparently. So basically it's about this prince, and you're listening to his story as he's trained to be a prince for the empire, and he becomes like stronger and smarter than a regular person, and then but once he graduates he realizes there's a whole secret behind the empire, and that is, it says on the back that there's a whole like band of princes and they all want to kill each other. So that sounds like it's going to be interesting. It didn't capture my attention when I first heard about this book, but as I said, I saw it for like really cheap and I thought, oh, it's really good condition, might as well see if I like it. So got that one. And then again with that same deal I got this one. I think it was originally from The Works, if any of you know what that shop is, because it says The Works 3 for £5. They've usually got really good deals as well, as you can see, 3 for £5, and they've changed it up quite a bit, so there's not as much YA fantasy and stuff there, but you can get some really good books. Anyway, talking about this book now, this is Dark Visions by L.J. Smith, and apparently this is a combined book for the Night World series, and it combines 3 books: The Strange Power, The Possessed and The Passion. So I don't know if these are the first 3 books or if this is a trilogy or if there's companion novels to it, because I always see the Night World in The Works. They've got different covers and stuff, so I don't know if there's more to it than just this, like can I just sit in and read this? So I'll have to do a bit of research. Honestly, I don't really know that much about it, only that it surrounds like vampires and werewolves and stuff. So I guess I'll find out. If you've read this, let me know what you think. And the last 2 books are from another trip to Asda. So the first one here I got is The Beautiful Broken Things by Sarah Bernard. I read a little snippet of this in Rainbow Rowell's World Book Day book, which was Kindred Spirits, I think it was, and it was really good. I mean, it's only small anyway, so I don't think much can go wrong. I don't know, that might be a bold statement, but I'm excited to read this. I'm going to read you the back because why not? So, Caddy and Rosie have always been inseparable, but that was before Suzanne. Now Caddy wants to be more than just the quiet one. She wants something to happen. It's got snippets in there that says, I was brave, she was reckless, we were trouble. Suzanne is trying to escape her past and be someone different, someone free. But sometimes downward spirals have a momentum of their own, and no one can break your heart like your best friend. But yeah, look at the cover, the back cover and the front cover. It's just absolutely beautiful. Really stunning. So excited to read that because I really enjoyed the little snippet that I read. And then the last book I picked up was on a whim. I was with Chloe and I got these 2 books and she picked this up and it looks really cute. So honestly, it was a cover by I feel like it might be middle grade, but I'm not too sure. It's called Little Bits of Sky by S.E. Durant. I don't know how to say that, but look at that cover. Oh, it's so cute. And the fact that it opens like this. Ooh, and you've got a little picture. That's so cute. It's adorable. Look at the, oh, it's so cute. Really pretty book. I'm happy that it sounds quite powerful as well, because this sounds like a really interesting story surrounding 2 children that live in a children's home. So, oh my god, I just realised how raspy my voice sounds. I just said I woke up, brushed my teeth, washed my face and everything, but I haven't had a drink or anything yet, so my throat is dry as anything. Anyway, Ira and Zach have been moved around foster homes for as long as they can remember. All they have from their past is a tatty blurry photograph of a black dog. Then they move into Skilly House, a children's care home in London. It's here that they make friends and lose them again and wait for their lives to begin. And then one day they do. Sounds amazing. Like, I really want to read this. It sounds like it might be emotional, kind of like a little slice of life sort of thing, contemporary. I got a fair amount of sort of contemporary. I didn't just get fantasy this time round, which I tend to stick to because that's just like what I love. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I'm going to apologise for the broken up video. I just completely forgot to bring books with me, and plus it would have been a bit too much as well. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you read during May and what you bought during May, and maybe what was your best purchase and your best read if they weren't the same book. So yeah, I will speak to you in my next video. Bye!
There's a pain I'll carry with me through the days